and I got a black belt in dealing with realtor spouse. All right. So I was just going to answer her question and she left. So that's the way it goes. I know, apparently. I'm dragging on. All right. So we're going to have some fun today. And where'd she go? She gone through? I wanted to just briefly answer her question. So if you guys have not logged into your Gemini account, does anybody know how to? They can give us the instructions. All right. All right. Just a fresh reminder. Everyone has, so ChatGPT has a $20 a month subscription. Gemini does as well, $19.99. But Joanna, you're in for a surprise. It's a part of your KW command package, technology package. So all you have to do to get there is go to Gemini, if you want to do it on your computer, .google.com. Takes you right into, oh, I put an extra dot there. It takes you right into your, you should type it up here. Let's do it again. Gemini, if you want to do it, Joanne, that'd be helpful. And then is it prompting you, like, would you like to accept the terms of conditions or not?
I never have been here before, so.
Yeah. So go ahead and say chat with Gemini. Use, and you'll see on the top right, it says Pro. So you've got a Pro account. It's a part of your KW package. How cool is that? So you have full access to Gemini Pro, just like, well, you do. It's a part of your technology office fee every month.
Oh.
So it's a part of our Gmail, part of what you guys pay for with your KW, actually with your office bill. And I want to remind everybody, zero of it goes towards us. I think people, when they pay us, they're like, you're getting rich off my $72.50. No. First of all, it goes straight to Austin. And a part of it is to pay for stuff like this. So this is a $20, but more than anything, this is something that is pretty powerful, because I want to just briefly tell you guys this 30-second elevator speech about Gemini, because we're going to dive into what I'm talking about, which is KW has an amazing contract with Google. So we wanted to utilize all of Google's tools, and that's why you log into your KW email in Gmail. That's why you do so many things. So what that means is Gemini is different than ChatGPT, because it not only gives you the muscle of an AI, but it's got basically all of your Google world, your Google contacts, your Google tasks, your Google Calendar, your Google Drive, and obviously your Google email. It's actually inside Gemini's brain already. So it doesn't get better than that. So for those of you who are kind of highly administrative, Shelby, I think today you may not sleep tonight. Because today is like right, not only down your alley, like today is actually really one of the most powerful things. And you can see the power of actual AI. Part of it is, I mean, I may be overselling that, but part of what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of do a little case. I call it a case study. And one of the major things that I want to tell you is, last week when we went there, 2 weeks ago, I believe there was gems right here. Did you guys remember that? Did you guys see gems or no? Maybe not. Well, when you guys go to your personal, like if you're not logged in over here, it's just your personal Gmail, there'll be a thing over here called gems. And gems are just basically like ChatGPT's custom GPTs. That's all they are. If you use it under your pro account, apparently KW does not give us that freedom, because people can start building custom, you know, chatbots to do all sorts of extra stuff. So they're trying to keep, and again, because they're dealing with a bunch of realtors, they're trying to keep us down into a narrow focus. But one of the coolest things that I want to tell you guys is down here on the bottom. This is kind of a little bit, what we're going to do is, I asked myself, because technically today is my last class, and it wasn't necessarily scheduled that way. We just like thought, we don't want everybody to run out of steam. We may do it once a month or whatever, but we wanted to do today, and then we may just schedule another month based on kind of how we all look at it. So I'm willing to do whatever. I am an AI engineer, so obviously AI is something I'm very passionate about. I'm in the process of releasing something right now, and then another project. So But what this does is how to use Gemini. I don't really specialize in this because I create my own tools, so I don't mind using tools, but I'm one of those mad scientists that stays up till 2 in the morning, which is what I was doing this morning, coding. And then I went to bed and I kept coding on my phone. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because what I believe today was about was I asked myself, what is a practical thing that actual agents can put to work? Right now, as a final class, this is a cool thing. So down here on the settings, this is kind of what I thought would be awesome. You have this little thing called scheduled actions. I'm not going to click on it, but I just wanted to tell you guys about this. So everybody knows about Siri. Who can tell me about Siri? Siri was really powerful because when Siri came out, Steve Jobs, oh, my Siri's waking up. See, she's blinking purple already. She thinks I'm talking to her, or he actually, it's a British accent guy. But it was pretty cool because you could say, hey, remind me in 2 hours, or my wife says, hey, set a countdown for 10 minutes, and then it tells her, hey, go turn the cookies off, kind of thing. But scheduled tasks is really powerful because, again, what we just said earlier, when you set Gemini to schedule something, she's got, is it a he or she? It's got access to, again, everything we talked about, your calendar, your tasks, your reminders, everything. So what I really believe you could do, and again, this is just my idea. You guys may have a whole different idea of what we want, and I'll make time for that here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys just something that's very, very powerful. So right now, if you click on this, I have one little thing right here. And I did this morning because I actually would like to delete it. Yeah, let's delete it. And then we're going to create our own. Because this scheduled actions, think of it as a powerful reminder on steroids. But think of it, who was it that was telling me? I can't remember who was telling me about using it, like thinking of it like a personal assistant. Was that you? Tell me more about that. I like hearing that. I think everybody needs to hear it. You just said I need to start.
I'm thinking, what am I gonna need? Okay, what do I need to ask Gemini? And then I'm like, use it as your personal assistant. What is going on in your life today? What could an assistant help you with? And then that, like, I'm doing my happy birthday card, my home anniversary cards, and I mailed them out. I want to then, after I've mailed them out, I want to call them or text them on that day. And I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to remember that, and I don't do it. So I asked Gemini to put all 15 of them. I gave them the name and the date, and it put it on my calendar, and boom, it was done. So now, when it
That's amazing, by the way.
on my calendar, you need to call such and such today because it's their home anniversary.
That's amazing. And so you put it on, it puts it, that's amazing, by the way. That's,
it took like me.
so when you say you gave it
seconds.
all its names, how did you do that? Did you paste them in there, or? Oh, you just,
my microphone.
oh, you just talk, say, remind me to email Shelby on Tuesday. I got to reach out to Joanna Rangel on Wednesday. Send Glenda a birthday on Friday. So you just told it, and then boom, 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 boom. That's
Microphone.
in the app, in the Gemini app. Cool. Okay. Awesome. It doesn't get cooler.
I don't have all those things written down.
I guess you're out of luck, Joanna. I guess you're out of luck. I like mess with Joanna. You probably, this is a history. You have zero history with it yet. This is a bunch of stuff that, me and my son were having fun, man in blue, jujitsu. I won't show you that one. But I was just showing him some of the stuff, but obviously you guys don't need some of my stuff, but I was just, messing around with different things. So this is the history, but I won't worry about that. So, but just think about what she just said. So she's talking about using a reminder. So we're going to do something very, very similar, but I would like to push this to the limit just to show you guys kind of a little bit of the horsepower, but also kind of just to show you guys some of the things that you guys can use as tools and kind of go home and just kind of brainstorm and do things. First of all, I want to remind you guys that not only do you have access to a Siri kind of thing, if you really want to use the muscle, like you can't, like Siri, I remember it was like, give me directions to so and so. Here it is, and then the map, and we were just like, oh my gosh. Well, with this, what if that? Okay, let me say it this way. What if, for example, do any of you guys pay your own bills, or does your spouse pay your bills? Anybody? You pay all your house bills. What if, I'm wondering, for example, if we had a Google sheet in our Google Sheets, which by the way, a Google Sheet is Google's version of an Excel spreadsheet. That's all it is. But what if you had a Google Sheet, Shelby, with your bills, with the name of the bill, the date it was due, the amount, and maybe the URL to the website. And of course, you probably have everything on autopay because you're just smart like that. But if you didn't, if you needed reminders, what if we created a sheet with all of those things, and then you told it to give you a weekly report on Monday of the bills due that week and give you the link on the due date or whatever? My whole point is I wanted you to think about like setting a schedule, but telling it to read a document and see what, check the date out and give you the ones that are due that week. What I'm trying to tell you is that you can upload documents and have your AI work with that document. Does that make sense? Is everybody paying attention? All right.
I'm looking right
What
at it.
what
I'm
I
paying it.
what ideas, that doesn't mean you're paying attention, but you are paying attention. What kind of ideas does that give you guys? Anything? What kind of thoughts come to mind when I talk about like uploading a document and then telling it? It can be like all your bills. It can be, all of your, it can be anything.
Know that that's coming out of your
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you got enough money in there to
Yeah.
pay it, because it's
Here-
gonna automatically shoot out of
And
there.
here's a cool way of what you just said. You can also tell it, because do you guys ever miss an email by any chance?
Miss an email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you overlook it. You can set a schedule for Gemini every Monday to read through your emails and make sure you didn't miss an email where a bill that, you got late, or there's a late bill, or there's something, a payment didn't go through. You can have it check for anything through your emails, by the way, and give you a briefly daily report. Yes. Sure, we can get into that here in a second. And because you can tell it, or you can type it, or you can, I guess those are the only two versions. It's not, you can't give it osmosis yet. But back to what I was saying, yeah, we'll get into the how-tos here in a second. But what if you also had it give you a weekly, or how about this? Have you guys ever gotten dressed and then you didn't realize it was going to rain that day? What if we asked it to give me a daily weather report and suggestion of what I should wear, considering all things considered, your weather? Just different little things like that. That's what happens in your schedule. But the cool thing is about this is that you can really have it just do anything. So what I would like to do is, let's do one with the weather report. Let's also do a prompt for, you could also have it give me the weather on Monday mornings, give me an overview of the Cass County market for real estate. Also give me, man, there's so many things that you can have it do. And just think of it as your little personal assistant that's reminding you to keep your head on straight, reminding you who you are, all these kinds of things. So this is something that is not only something that we all have to be creative for, but I think for me, more than just telling you guys, hey, let's do this, I want to just kind of paint a picture of the tools that are in your hand so that you can go home and just kind of brainstorm with it. But yes.
So if I said, Gemini, I want you to let me know whose all birthday is in command. Because
Yes.
like, is it connected to command, did you say?
It's not connected with
not.
command, but I wanted to show you guys a couple of things concerning that. It is, but it isn't, and that is that this is something that I wanted to show you guys if you guys want to invest into this. It is a little bit of money that you would add to your bill, but if you go to marketplace.kw.com, you can go to this little world right here. And so there's all these added little things that they have done. And part of the reason that these charge, and I'm not defending it, I'm just kind of telling you the logic behind the geeks that made this, is for it to use some of this tool with command and like Google Contacts, for example, it does require a certain additional amount of, technology. So that's why they charge. But this is actually $19 a month. Now, one of the things is each one of these. These are little connection things that you could do. Here's one: Google Contacts and KW Command. So what that literally does for $20 a month, now it may be totally worth your investment. But what that means is whenever you create a Google contact, you basically in your Google app or in your, you can get an email and then you can right click somebody's name, add to Google Contacts. That means that whenever it's activated in your Google Contacts, it syncs to command, and then yes, it turns it into a command contact. So when you go to your contacts, there it'll be, and you can have all sorts of settings you can turn on and off to where if something is added in your Google Contacts, it shows up in your command. So that's something that you can turn on. And the settings, you can have it go like the contacts determines the Google Contacts, or the Google Contacts dictates the command contacts. So to answer your question, yes, that's a capability, but you have to turn it on. And so the reason that's important is because yes. So Gemini would connect with your Google Contacts, and then Google Contacts determines your command. So to answer your question, that is if you really want to build something pretty cool. Like in my opinion, when you start selling real estate on a high level, you need tools like this. You need tools to leverage. So in an everyday world, what that would mean is you can have Gemini on a Monday morning, give you a weekly report of all of your birthdays in your command contacts. Yes. But this is how you would do it. Does that make sense? You would have to turn that sync feature on. And then in your Google Contacts, you would make sure they have a birthday, you know. So then Gemini would give you a weekly birthday. That's pretty incredible, actually, in my opinion. And then you can also take it one step further than Miss Nadette said. You can tell it, notify me on the phone app, the Gemini phone app, and give me the contact's name and the phone number, so that when the notification comes up, their phone number is right there. You can click on it, send text from there, or give me their contact file. How about that? So Gemini will spit out their contact file, and you can message or call them from there. And that's pretty cool, because to answer one step closer is there's another one up here. No, actually, never mind. There is something that I want to show you guys that's along those lines. And you guys may already know this, you guys may not, but let me just show you guys one little detail. In KW, and we're talking about like assimilating all these things together in this, like they call it integration. We're talking about mending all these worlds together. So one of the basic things that everyone in here should do already for sure that doesn't cost money is if you go to your profile in Command and you go to settings. When you go to settings, you're going to have this little thing that comes up, integrations. You should turn on this Gmail account right here. Just literally, you just hit connect account. Why do you want to connect Gmail with this? Well, it's funny that you asked, because when you go home, if you turn that on and you go to your contacts, oh, where's my contacts? Oh, here it is up top. You can tell I don't sell real estate yet. But if you go to this, this is mine. Every Gmail interaction that you have with that person, just by turning this little feature on, oh, wherever it was, the Gmail integration, it tracks every Gmail interaction that you have with them. Or let me just say it this way. Your KW is in a Gmail platform. It logs every email interaction from them and to them. That's pretty cool, and that's free. Does that make sense? Is anybody lost?
Profile and setting.
Yeah. Yeah, let's.
What you got there?
So you go to settings, and then This list right here should be integrations right here. Yeah.
Go to profile, I go to settings, and then where's integration?
These are your integrations. This is more integrations, but these are your applications.
Clicked on.
I didn't click on anything. When you go to your profile, like here, or I'm sorry, so settings, this is by default, your default settings. It shows all your applications that are
Oh.
connected.
You just wanna click to your
Yeah.
email.
Well, and then the Gmail, it was down here, but I hit connect account on the Gmail and it connected it. As a matter of fact, let's just do it. Since you're asking all these good questions, this is what it looks like. Under productivity, it'll just say not connected, connect. And then when you hit connect, you have to choose the email address that you want to connect, or the, you know, the Gmail account. Allow, and then now it'll be connected. And all that means, so it'll say connected right here, or it'll say connected and then to disconnect it. So all that means is every email interaction that you have with your clients, it logs it into their contact history, their timeline, which is so cool. But let's not drown in this stuff and swim in this stuff. But I will tell you guys that that's pretty cool. So to answer Joanna's question, yes, you can technically say, give me a Monday morning report on all coming birthdays that morning, and provide for me their contact file, and give me a sweet, how about this? Provide for me a sweet happy birthday text that I can just copy and paste into the text. So you can have it do all of that. It's going to say, here you go. It's Caesar's birthday. Here's the birthday text. It's his birthday today. Send him the text. And here's what you can even say. That's very cool. But how you do that is you have to turn this on real quickly, because we don't want to get sidetracked here, but let's look around here. I wanted to show you guys what other things are available here. These are all called API Nation connections. And all an API means is it connects to types of technology. That's all an API means. I think it means something like application protocol integration or something like that, but you guys don't need to know all that. So there's all sorts of stuff. Here's one that you would like, probably, Ms. Nanette, Outlook contacts in command. So it'll sync all of your Outlook contacts with your command. So these are things that are $20 a month. Google Sheets. Look at this real quick. I'll click on it, and well, I saw this somewhere else, but this one was pretty cool. You can have it based on command. You can have it create Google spreadsheets, and it's just wild what you can do. But you can toy around with this, and then you have to learn how to use it, and then come tell us about it. But let's go back to schedule tasks. So let's just ask it to schedule a task. Well, if you see here, there's no plus button. So how do we do it? Well, we're just gonna have to talk to it like a normal human. So here, this is where we're gonna jump right in. So how we do this, and how you turn this on, is you just have to prompt. We call it prompted, but you just have to tell it what you want, and then it adds it to schedule tasks, and then you can edit it. We'll see that here in a second. So to answer Glenda's question, I want everybody to know that I don't think my mic will be picked up because I am talking through a mic, but if you hit this little microphone right here, use microphone, that's how you do it. And then I don't know that it'll let me unless, can you hear me? Nope. Oh, yes, you can, because I have my microphone plugged in. So that's pretty cool. Well, let's just do it audio wise. Schedule a weather report update for 8 a.m. every morning, and suggest what type of clothes I need to wear based on the weather. What else should I say? What else can we get this? About what? Yeah, give me a you know, trend report for the previous 7 days or 30 days in Cass County. Now, on that same report. Or on that same daily update. More than anything, this is gonna be just a weird like thing that we're gonna do here, just so I can show you guys where it schedules it. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit okay. You guys may be like, hold on. Well, you guys can go, you know, um, edit this at home and all that, but I want you guys to see a couple things. So it says, got it. So all we did is we said, schedule an email. I didn't even mean to say email weather report, but we'll edit that here in a second. Got it. I've scheduled a daily update for you every morning at 8 a.m. This scheduled action will, and it'll do these two things: provide you a weather report and suggested clothing for the day, give you a trend report for the previous 30 days in Cass County real estate, ask me to edit or delete your scheduled action at any time. So you can even tell it to edit it. You can say, hey, you know, on Cass County, you're giving me too many pieces of data points. I want you to reduce it to just these things. You can tell it to do that and it will edit it. Or, so everybody see how simple this is? We just basically said, hey, send me a weather. I want to know how to dress every day. If it's just going to rain on my head, or do I need to wear a sundress or a skirt or no pants? Or you guys really ain't listening, because.
That was funny stuff, right, that you were saying.
But here's how you edit it. When you go to settings, now we're going to go look at what scheduled actions we have. It'll come up right here. Now, the reason this is important is because I imagine some of you that will apply this will have 3 or 4 or 5 different things going on. If you ever want to edit it, I prefer to manually edit it, but now we're going to do that. We're going to go back over here and we're going to edit it. You can pause it, by the way. So hold up. I'm taking 3 days off. Stop sending me stuff. You can just come here, pause it, and it'll say pause, or you can come back and resume it. But here's edit. It opens up this little thing right here, and you guys can edit right here. Now, one of the things that I am known for is, as a matter of fact, I recommend you come here and you edit the name. So let's go ahead and edit the name. Let's just name it Daily Update from Gemini. And then on this instructions, shocker, what am I going to do? I'm going to copy it and cut all of it. And then we're going to go to the famous notepad. Let's go. I need to reduce this font because it's way too big. 36. What were we smoking?
Oh, it can these notifications via text, because I asked it if it could do it and it said it can't do it yet.
Good question. You can, but you have to connect Twilio or texting service, and then you can 100% have you send text or send your clients texts. I know. The only negative part about it is that it will use, you know, like a third party text phone number. So when you sign up through Twilio, you have to like, you either buy, well, technically you do, you have to like rent, basically you don't buy it, but you can, you buy a phone number, you know, or rent a phone number, but, and then it'll come from that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like if you have clients from day one that you meet them, you can say, this is my personal communication text phone number, or this is my personal call phone number, and this is the phone number that I use for text messages. And don't tell it it's you, or if you want to, it's up to you. And they will, you know, you can also create your own contact file in your phone, you know, contact file, put your mobile in there, and then put another mobile in there, the Twilio number. And then when you get a new client, just say, here's my contact file. So whenever they get the text, it'll come up as Shelby. They don't know because you put it in your contacts already. Does that make sense? So yes, you can, but you have to enlist, and there's a ton of others. There's like 5 or 7 major ones. But Twilio is probably the most user friendly. But there's a lot of stuff I don't use. I use a thing called Telnix, which is, you know, you have to buy the program inside. There's like a port and all this stuff. And yeah, you don't need to know about all this.
Because I did this thing, text this to me and it says, can't text it to you, will provide the market report directly to you through our chat interface.
Yes.
Does this have to be, the app has to be open?
No. And it doesn't have to be open. Well, let me say it this way. For the notifications, if I were you, do you use an iPhone or Android? I would definitely install the Gemini app and be logged into that account. So then Gemini will, if you give it permissions to send you notifications, Gemini app will just notify you right there. It'll come up as a notification, say, call so-and-so, or here's your weekly report, or your weekly report is ready. But using the Gemini app is so powerful. But what I do is come to this notepad and we can continue with this prompt here. Can anybody think of another thing that we need on a daily basis, I guess? You can put general, like, remind me to take my, Flintstone vitamin, whatever you want to tell it. You can put it here, but that's stuff that I think people use Siri for or your reminders for. But more than anything, you can tell it to do really, really powerful stuff. So I'm going to try to do something here that I probably shouldn't, because I can see this going really, really bad. But since I'm a software guy, I think we can handle it. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's call this, we're going to save this document, and we're going to go ahead and pre-save it before we even type anything. We're going to save it in the documents, and we're just going to call it My Bills. Now here, we're just going to go Verizon. Actually, we can call it bill and date or due date, amount, website. So let's do one here. Verizon, due date is October the 13th, 2025. I just want to show you guys the power of all this. Because my family of 5, and we have cell phones, it's about $1,500 a month. Just kidding, it's not. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what it is. All right. So think about what we did here, guys. All right, did I lose anybody? All we did was created a Google document. Now, one of the things that, I mean, a spreadsheet. One of the things that I'm going to do is we're going to go to my Google Drive. And we're just going to put it in here into some folder. We can call it downloadables. That's where we're just going to name a folder, My Bills, whatever you want to name it. And then, so what are we doing here? Are we crazy? Maybe. Give me 1 second.
Those 9 dots up there in the corner by the KW, you hit those and it brings all your Google stuff. Look
All
how
right.
techie I'm getting.
Girl,
Taking your classes.
no joke,
Look how
seriously.
techie I'm getting.
I know. So you got me. She's got my belt. So to answer your question, Glenda, that's a good question. So over here on the top right, you got these little 9 dots or whatever. You click on it, all of the Google Workspace apps come up, and one of them is Drive. So because I'm logged in, it takes me to the Google Drive. So watch what I did here, guys. I uploaded into some random folder. And by the way, you can name your folders, whatever. And how do you name a folder in your Drive? You come over here to new, and then you hit new folder. And I've got one called downloadables that I created, and I started using it here with you guys. But I uploaded just a simple little spreadsheet. Theoretically, we're going to add a daily schedule to Gemini, and we're going to have it check my bills, tell me the date, tell me what's due that week, and then put that on my daily report. Now, you don't just have to do that. You can add a file with all your contacts. You can add a file with all your kids' sports. You can add a Google Sheet with, your kids', medical records, dentist appointments. Every time you do an oil change, you can do anything. And by the way, not only can you, here's a good idea. You can take your vehicles, or if you had equipment or whatever, and you can create a spreadsheet of every time you change the oil. And then you can tell it, remind me every 90 days, this car needs to have its oil changed. And when you remind me, update the spreadsheet and bump it another 90 days by yourself without me having to open it. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it will go into your spreadsheet and tell you that, when it's due, it'll update it for you. Another thing you can do is you can also, on that bills spreadsheet, I can create a little column where it'll say last time paid, and tell Google Gemini to remind me and count it as paid. So the whole goal is to be able to just create geeky little stuff like this that helps you. Does everybody understand why this can be very powerful, or are you guys just like, wondering what the heck's going on? Well, it is, but I didn't know if I
Could be helpful.
am conveying how actual game-changing this stuff can be if you use it and if you apply it, because not only is it an assistant, but all the power of AI. Just remember what I'm about to tell you. This is like a power truth about AI. The real power of AI is, yes, it's mind blowing that it can reason, it can have a personality. My ChatGPT calls me homie. And then, looking at your cowboy hat, yesterday I told it, hold up, cowboy, you're moving ahead of me. Please stay one step at a time. As a matter of fact, every time I say OSAAT, one step at a time, it's going to be my reminder to you to slow down and give me one step at a time, because ChatGPT with programmers, it'll give you like 15 steps. You can do this and edit that code and remove here, open that file, save it, reboot, restart. And it's like, hold up, cowboy. So now, last night, when we actually got something to work, it was one comma that was throwing off all of my software. And I got it to work, and ChatGPT replied and said, yippee-yi-yay, cowboy, let's ride. I was like, oh, and put a laughing face and the emoji with the cowboy hat. I told my wife, I was like, this fool literally put a little cowboy emoji. The reason I'm telling you guys this is because the actual power of AI is all that. That's mind blowing. But just remember this, the actual power of AI is data. And so what we're doing with here is we're putting data in a storage location, predetermined data that you can use. And think of it in terms as an agent of all sorts of data that you need. Yes.
So instead of my bill, you could do.
Come on,
my
Nanette, let's
statement.
go.
My
100%.
statement. Talked about that last
We should do that. Yes.
statement. So this could be, we added a new one, we marked it.
Yes.
My statements.
Yes.
This could be your credit card statement,
Yes.
bank statements, all the statements in there. And then for your taxes, you can ask this
Yes.
Gemini to separate everything into categories. All
Prep
your
it,
food,
prep it for your
all
accountant.
everything that's in all these accounts that you take your real estate, pay everything with your real estate, KCRAR, MLS, all the things. So this is something that would be beneficial to me. The bills would be too, because I don't do mine on automatic payment, because I'm not comfortable doing that. I want to pay them myself, but I know that they're paid at the right amount. I can't give up that, but this is something that would really help me, because I do this the same way as Becky does. I keep everything in a monthly folder,
Yeah.
and then I'm supposed to go through them during the month and be that organized, but I'm not. It's always at the end of the year that I'm doing it, so.
You too.
It
I
would
would tell
help.
myself I'm gonna do it monthly and I don't.
Well, I think everyone in the room does that.
Yep.
Okay, so Cesar, I have a question, because, so in my, Google, like, we're on a team, so it has my face on there, but like if I'm in my KW, I need to have it be my team, cause all my contacts are in my team. I mean, so I don't know about this Gemini, if it's just for me or my team, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. That's a good question. So what was your question?
So like if I'm, when I go into, my KW, when I'm at mykw.com, it's just showing my face, which is just me, and I need the one that has my team. Because then I could go into the settings and then I could activate Gemini, but it's,
It's showing her personal profile instead of her team
yeah,
profile.
and usually, let me see here. Usually it says switch to my team, and it's giving me, I'll have to, I don't know, it's something.
Probably
right.
something.
Something's not right.
Well, what is your question again? I'm still lost.
Did my KW account,
Come
and
on.
it's just my personal, and I don't, usually it just says switch.
In your KW in Gemini or
No, my
Gmail?
K-
Okay.
Usually I could just say switch and it switches to my team, and it's not letting me.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know why.
Okay, let's take a real quick peek, even though,
So normally.
oh, you're in my KW. You need to go kw.com. You're in
Okay.
my KW.kw. That's what I
Okay,
wondered.
hold on, but I still can't get to my,
Right, I'm
Group.
trying to tell you, that's not where you go there for that. That's,
Okay,
my
so-
KW is, you type in agent.kw.
agent
And by the way, here, why don't you, just use that shortcut right there?
right here.
Yes. That's not it. Okay. Let's close that. Let's go to, open a new one
Okay,
and then just hit agent.kw there, okay? .kw.com. Yep, right there. Okay. Before you do that, let's save this as it, can I
sure.
save this as a, okay, so when you see that little red and white KW, that's,
And so that's where I'm at. So this is the same thing though.
no, this is your command. This is command. That's where you need to be versus my KW. My KW is like it's like a store. It's like like a media hub that everybody uses. But there's a difference between mykw.kw.com and agent.kw. Agent.kw is command. You need to be logged into command. But I just saved it, that little KW logo. Click on that and that'll take you to command. Yes, so my whole point in telling you guys this is because I wanted you guys, so reopen and list the bills due. Okay, what does it say? However, I'm unable to retrieve the rows of data. I only have access to the, please open the file. Check again. Do it. So back to what we were talking about. We're talking about like just um, being able to put a document right here. So what Nanette was talking about is you can create a folder in your Google Drive and just call it, you know, tax files, tax bank statements. You take all 12 of your bank statements. You literally, now, I look at Glenda back there because Glenda's like, okay, she always asks practical questions like, tell me how to do that. I hear you. So what you do is you have to go to your bank website. You have to find all of your statements, you know, like if we're doing 2024 taxes, you go to 2024, January 2024, you download that PDF, put it into a downloads folder on your computer. February, you go through all 12 months and on your computer's drive, all a computer drive is just a folder on your computer that strategic, you're storing everything there. So you have just a downloads folder and then now you have all 12 bank statements. Do I have y'all so far?
Yes.
So you put them somewhere because sometimes it's overwhelming. It's like, do I upload them direct? No, you got to put them on your computer first. Then you're going to open up your Google Drive like this, and you're just going to drag them. You can literally just grab any document from, like, I'm just gonna, some random downloads folder. Let's just say, you know, this one, or I'm trying to find a PDF. Let's just take a Word document. You just drag it from a folder and just drop it right here, and here it is. What does that mean? Well, that means that this document right now is now capable of being asked by Gemini or analyzed by Gemini. But let's not do that. Let's delete it because I don't want to confuse Gemini. So the whole point is you take all 12 of your bank statements, and then when, does everybody know where I'm at here, Glinda? You see how I named this My Bills? If you right click it, you can rename it, like name something that you can tell Gemini. Go to My Bills in my drive. Well, it's going to go, what's My Bills? Well, I named it My Bills. And, or you can name it something. You can name it, go to my tax bank statements folder in my drive, which is right here. You know, whatever you name it, you have to be able to tell Google Drive where to look. I mean, even if you don't, it'll find it, but this helps it make it a lot easier and less confusing. So you drop all 12 of your statements right here. So literally now we've got all of your history for last year in this folder. So then you go to Google, and a part of your prompt will just be, go to my tax bank statements, analyze all 12 of them, and create me a one-page report to give to my accountant, categorizing my type of spending, utilizing the leveraging of my accountant to help me remove any kind of deductibles that I may have, taken advantage, put this in such a way that my accountant could help me save tax money, kind of thing. Boom, done. So what does it do? Gemini will go into that folder, into your drive, pull up those PDFs, absorb them real quickly, analyze them. And by the way, this takes literally 5 seconds for an AI to read all 12 statements. And it'll provide you a one-pager. Now you can even tell it, and give it to me in a Microsoft Word document file so that you can download the Microsoft Word document, and then you can edit the Microsoft Word document. So think about what we just did, because Nanette brought that up. If I had those bank statements, I could probably do that, no joke, in about 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Maybe Cesar could probably do it in 30 seconds because I know what to do. My whole point is, my wife and I used to work on this for sometimes days with those bank statements. So same thing that we're doing here. If you noticed, it said it couldn't read any information. It's because I had this little row of data down one, and when it's reading data, it needs to read it a CSV file, which is what data is on. Most spreadsheets are called CSV files, but this is not a CSV file. This is just an Excel spreadsheet. There's usually no gap. So all I did is moved it up because it said, I can't find that. However, I'm unable to retrieve data. I moved it up and made it look like that. And then I said, hey, check again, sucker. And what did it do? It says, I checked, check this out, Shelby. Shelby, I really think somebody like you is gonna use the crap out of this. And I think everybody is too. But I just picture, like, I think I saw a spreadsheet sometime, like you are already on this. So I checked my bills again, and I was able to find the following bill that is due today. Here it is, Verizon, this and the 15, and you can even tell it to give me the website. The listed amount is 15,000. Seems unusually high for typical Verizon bill, but you may want to double check that figure in your spreadsheet. So a part of my daily activity can literally say that. So now over here in scheduled actions, we're going to edit this. Let me rename this my daily report. Let me save it. Yep, so it's called my daily report. Now I'm going to select all this text in here because I like doing stuff over here, and that's where this goes. Now here we can say each morning, or actually on the same report. Actually, you don't even have to tell it that, because Can anybody tell me why we don't have to tell it to do it at 8 a.m. in the instructions? Because when we told it, we were given instructions. And all we were telling it to do is to set this to 8 a.m. Now it's already scheduled for 8 a.m. So I don't have to tell it 8 a.m. anymore. And the reason I'm telling you this is now it knows 8 a.m. Now we can just say also read my document named my bills in my drive. Give me a report or give me an update on all bills due for the week. Provide name of the bill or name of the company, amount of bill, and the URL. Make it easy for me. And literally, what are we doing here? Are we crazy? Oh, no, we're not. We're smart. We're literally scheduling it. So think about what this means. We are having a daily report. We're getting a daily weather report. We're going to have it look at my bills. It's daily. Everybody check this out. You can schedule it for daily, weekly, or monthly and hit save. Now, tomorrow, it's going to tell me that I have a past due bill if I haven't paid it already. So because it's going to know the date on this spreadsheet. The date on this spreadsheet is today. Well, tomorrow will not be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be past. Or today's date will be past tomorrow. So my whole goal is to show you guys some of the stuff that you can do. And so what this is doing is it is scheduling, but you're kind of providing your assistant some information. What other cool things do you guys think we could do with that schedule task? Anything? What kind of things do you think are?
That clinic that I have for sale.
Yeah.
And I just put them into Gemini and asked it to create me a quick Excel spreadsheet so then I can show people from the building. I can send them the bills, but then they can quickly see on the Excel spreadsheet. It just built it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It built it into a spreadsheet?
Yeah. Spreadsheet. Whole thing. Yeah.
What?
But then I was saving the documents because there's 3 different addresses for that same building, and then for some reason my printed PDF for the second set of utility bills, none of them saved, so. So I'm gonna ask it if it can save them to my desktop. I'm gonna ask it next if it can. Save it for me, but does it do that?
So you asked it for what? You provided the files for you?
I provided files, everything's beautiful, but then the second address, I went through and I was printing to PDF, and it says none of the files are working. So if I ask Gemini to go into my email and save those documents to a certain folder, will it do it?
Here's how I would recommend, because you just from a technology standpoint, that's a good question. I would tell it to, well, first of all, what I would do just from a systems standpoint is I would go over here and I would create a folder called something like, now this is the initial entry. This is my drive. This is like when you go to my drive, it's here, but when you go home, it's here. But you can go to my drive. You can create a folder and just call it, and I personally, remember what I do, I number first, and then I space. I guess I got 4 1s up there. I guess I need to follow number 2. And I would call this a catch-all. Now, what did I just do? I created a catch-all folder. I would tell it, Shelby, do this, this, and that, and put it into my catch-all folder. Drop these files into my catch-all folder in my Google Drive. That's what I would tell it to do. And then it should create those files for you and upload them to this catch-all folder. Does that make sense? And then if I were you, here's what I would do. So you see how this catch-all folder is open and there's nothing in it? I would open it on my browser and you take this link right here. This is how you think in systems, guys. You take the link and you just drop it right here. And you can right click this and you rename it, just name it my catch-all. So now, anytime, oh, that says my cat call. I need to definitely change that. Now, every time I just want to access my files, I open up my browser, I click on this link, and they will all be right here. This is like an access into my folders. So this is kind of how you think in systems, but that's what I would do, Shelby. Instead of, well, let me just say it the way I would say it to one, like a fellow engineer. Never, and I mean never, this goes for everybody, save a file on your desktop because you will lose it. No, I'm kidding. I mean, you can do it, but your desktop is really easy to lose all sorts of files because they get ranked by name, they get organized by alphabetical, and if you're like my wife, you'll have like 40,000 files on your desktop. It is a folder, but the desktop is your visible folder. What I would do, Shelby, and by the way, you can do it, but I'm just saying never. Because from a coding standpoint, you know, if you save something in your desktop, like all my coding files have code and gibberish in them. And so you have to be super organized in how you name them, because you look at code, it's like, what part is that from? You know, it's like looking at Greek. But if I were you, I would create a folder in your Google Drive and then be very like comprehensive in your instruction to Gemini and say, create these files. If you do want to do it your schedule task, every day create a report. You can even say, create me a list of my files that are due, turn it into a PDF and upload it to my catch-all folder. That's how I would do it. So that you have like a folder that your Gemini, whatever it creates for you, boom, it's always going to put them in one spot. And that's a catch-all folder. Does that make sense? It doesn't.
It's okay. I think you could explain it to me for a long time.
She just has to figure it out herself. You gave
Yeah.
her the instructions?
And
Yes.
I'll just have to.
She'll
No
figure it
problem.
out.
Let me say it this way. Think of this folder on your Google Drive as a desktop folder. We're just created a place for Gemini to save things to. That's all we did. Do you know how we did this right here? How we created a folder? Okay. And then because I know that I feel that I'm being clear, but I know that sometimes I'm not clear. So what part of it is like a hurdle for that doesn't make sense? Because I want to make sure that y'all leave here with answers. Is the name catch-all throwing you off or anything? Or, oh, okay. And by the way, Shelby, I so appreciate you sticking yourself out there, because if you have these questions, this is the reason I want to address it. That I know others have questions. So I want to make sure, because it's a lot to take in.
So in the email, on the right-hand side, I clicked the add all to drive, and now it's grayed out and it won't let me.
In your
click it.
email, you said?
Yep, yeah, the document.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that add all to drive, but then it's the only one that pops up.
Out of all those she had on there, only dropped one in there.
Yeah.
You know what she did wrong.
Did you tell it where to save it by any chance? Yeah, let's do that. That's a great, let me show you how to, So when you go right here to add the drive, you see this? So there's a little thing that comes up. Oh, it added it. Let's move on to the next one. There's this little thing that comes up and it says organize. When you hit organize, you can tell it exactly what folder to do it to. And what I would do if I were you is I would create a folder first, if that makes sense. So see, if you hit all locations in my drive, see my catch-all is right here. By the way, Shelby, don't feel pressured. I promise you this.
In my drive,
Yeah. So in your drive, like right here,
yeah,
you go to this new, and then the first one on top will be new folder. And then when you click it, it gives you this option. Whatever you type in here and hit create, it will create it in this folder. Now, I'm glad you asked because let's say in my catch-all, I'm going to open my catch-all folder and I want to create a catch-all for real estate. I want to catch-all for bills. I want to catch-all for personal. I want to catch-all for my romance life. And what I mean by that is birthday reminders. Last time I took my honey, have I washed her car lately? What does she need? Does she need a new water bottle? Does she need new nails? Does she need a massage? Does she? But I can literally create a folder within a folder. So here in this catch-all folder, when you hit new and then you hit new folder, and by the way, guys, we do need to probably wrap it up. So give me like 3 more minutes and then we'll let y'all out of here. New folder, and then I name it whatever, like for example, home to-do list, and I hit enter, it'll create it. So what do we have here? We have my drive and we have a catch-all folder, and within the catch-all folder is another folder. It's whatever you create. So you can create unlimited folders in here. Does that make sense? If you want to delete it, you just go back to catch-all and you can right click or hit the 3 dots and move to trash, or you can hit the 3 dots and move to trash. So we're going to move to trash. Does that make sense, Shelby? Were you able to do what we said? Were you able to,
okay.
so here's how I would do it. Did you create a catch-all folder? Okay. So when you go here, here's how you do it. You hit organize, and then over here on the right, you'll hit all locations, and it takes you to it lets you choose my drive. So when I double click my drive, one of the options will be my catch-all folder right here. So when I hit catch-all, move, so it took this, it said it's been moved to catch-all. Let's go over here. So now if I refresh, or I didn't even have to refresh, there it is. But the cool thing is you can, download stuff directly to the same place. So now whenever I go to my next one, this is important, I think. This is worth, when I go to my next file that I want to add, I just hit add. It added it. Oops, excuse me. Oh, it just added it to my drive because I didn't specify. So right here, I'll have some random, wherever it saved it down here somewhere, because you have to specify where you want to save it when you hit organize. Does that make sense? All right. Yes.
My drive people
Yes.
add or no? When you have like, yeah, how can you actually like click those and save them to your computer itself?
Sure. If you want to download, like this one has a bunch of stuff in it. I do the office comparison here, and then whenever I share it, I go here, share, and then I turn this on. I do the link, and then I just literally share the link. But this one has a bunch of folders. So here you can click on it, and then you can choose more than one. You can hold shift and then come over here. Let's just say I want to download all those. Now, you've got them all selected. You can right click and hit download, or you can download this right here. There's a download button. And what that does is it will zip them.
Where is it putting them?
Well, it doesn't put them anywhere. It zips them and then it comes up and it's going to say, where would you like me to put them? So we're about to watch that here in a second. So it's zipping them right here. See? Zipping. And typically it depends on what your settings are, but it probably will download them into your download folder. There's a, and I'm only doing this for the video, guys, not because you guys are catching everything, but if you hit the three dots up here on the top right and you go to settings, this is a very powerful, this is one of the things that I call Navy SEAL systems that I teach. It's like building systems for your business. This is one of the most important things that I teach everybody. And that is that when you go here, where is it? I always get this mixed up. When you go to settings and then you go to downloads, this little thing is really important. If you don't have ask where to save each file before downloading, if this is not on, it'll download everything to your downloads folder. So if you go to your downloads, everything will be right there. But by turning this on, what that does is it's still preparing, it's zipping, because this actual over here has a ton. I'm gonna actually cancel it. But let's just download this catch-all so I can show you guys. So see, it's zipping it. It should do it pretty quickly. You see, so there it is. Because I have that feature turned on, every time I download something, it's going to ask me where to save it. And I personally like that because whenever I save stuff, it's got to be super organized. I cannot afford. You guys are always like, man, that was quick. You helped me so quickly. It's not because I'm smart, and it's definitely not because I, and quick. My wife says I drive like a grandpa, think like a grandpa, and I am very slow in the way I do everything. And it probably is. But the reason I'm able to respond really quickly is because there is nothing in my computer that is just randomly placed. Everything I ever save is either got a name on it and a specific location. So you should get into that same habit. So all that I'm saying,
And you went to the three dots up at the top
to download it or what?
to make it tell you.
Oh,
where
yes,
it's
absolutely. So when you go to your Google Chrome browser, so this is very, very, very top up here, right underneath the red X, these little three dots. So in other words, it's like your main settings. And I really don't want to confuse you guys, but I will show you guys what I'm talking about and why I say the very, very top. It's because when you go to Google, a lot of people are messing with this stuff. This is your Gmail settings. I'm not talking about your Gmail settings because everything underneath this little brown area right here down is Gmail. If you click on this, you're dealing with Gmail. I'm not talking about Gmail. I'm talking about up here with your Chrome. See this other little U up here? See the big Caesar is Gmail. The little Caesar's Pizza is up here. This is the Chrome settings. So if you go to was that three dots or four dots? Three dots. So three dots, and then you're going to go all the way to the bottom under settings. So this is a lot of information, but don't be overwhelmed. Under settings, over here on the left, there's one called downloads. You click on that, you got to make sure this is on. Now, this is another thing that I want to say, you're welcome, because this is a lot of information, but I will also say, I want this on the video, that most individuals in this room are having Chrome issues, command issues, and here's even like issues with your Gmail, stuff freezing up. Here's why. I'm glad that you asked that question, Joanna. When you go to your Chrome settings, again, we're going to do it just randomly over here, even though I was just there. Go to your Chrome settings, go to the very, very, very bottom called About, and up here, it's going to say Updating. Now, mine is updated on my computer. There's probably a high chance yours is not updated. And what that does is it just literally updates Chrome and gives it all of its bugs, fixes, and it updates it for you.
Maybe Chrome. About Chrome, how do we get, oh, it says update. Okay, it says update.
I'm glad you asked. And then so it's updating. It may just take sometimes with the Wi-Fi, but because this over here is hardwired, so it's a little bit quicker than your Wi-Fi probably. But when you open that About Chrome, and then it updates, now it says something right here. nearly up to date. Relaunch Chrome to finish updating. So when you hit relaunch, it'll literally shut it down and open it back up. And I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do it right when we close. But this is, I literally think this is such a small tip, but a huge thing for everybody. You know, do this once every month or every couple months or when you think about it. Yes.
See, it's funny because, you know, I probably need a class that's like the beginning of the beginning, because sometimes when I hit download, I don't know where things went.
Right.
And I look for them.
This
and
is what I
can't
was trying to tell you. So if you turn this downloads, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys,
Yeah,
that if you turn this on,
it'll always ask you.
I guarantee you I know where yours is at. It's in your downloads folder. But the problem is when you have a downloads folder, it will organize everything alphabetical.
Wow.
So it's probably down, if it's an M, if it's a Wrangle relative, it's down at the R's, down at the armpit of your entire drive. But I'm gonna show you something, y'all missed that. That was funny. But here's another thing.
Or, I got it.
Thank you, Miss Nanette. Nanette's the only mom in here listening. No, I'm kidding. But here's something that I would do to help you. There is a simple fix, and I don't like it because I think everybody should be organized for your sake, because this is your own personal business. When you go here, it's like, how the heck am I going to find that? Well, see how everything's alphabetical order? Here's a couple things that I would do. And by the way, this is obviously extra stuff, but these are just, make sure that under view, you pick details, because it's going to give you details about that file. Now, go to the very top, and then you're going to have it organize everything by the date. How do you do that? Well, you go up here and you literally just click date, just click on it. And now it organized all of my files, not by alphabetical. See, these S's are above the L's and above the P's. Why? It organized everything based on date. So now when you click on date, or if you want to see what's the first file I ever created, when you click on date again, it'll reverse it. The first file we ever created was September 20, 2024, when we bought this little computer over here. But I want everything the latest. If you're not going to name everything in your downloads folder, if you want to find old files in your download, go there, turn on details under view, details, and then click the date, and it'll put the latest thing that you downloaded on top. All right, so real quickly to close this class, because we're way over. Is there any other question that you had regarding your Google Drive, Shelby?
I got this. I didn't realize it was the shift button to get all the files. and
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
Here-
key that you could select multiple at one time.
You can, yes. And there's something slightly different. There's this, and then whatever you hold the shift down, wherever you, so the shift button works with the starting point that you click and an end point that you click. So you have to start a starting point like there, or let's just say we want this one to here. So you click a starting point, hold shift down. I've got the hand on shift, and then wherever I click, it's going to select starting point, the end point, and everything in between. But if I wanted to choose two separate folders that are not in a line, you hold the Alt button. I'm sorry, the Control button. So the Control button, the Control button is you click on a start point and you hold the Control button. Whichever one you click, well, just kidding.
I think that's what I've been hitting is the control, and that is aggravating me, so it should to get all the documents. I don't know why it just clicks that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. In command and your settings, didn't you say you should be able to see Gemini and say connected, or am I wrong? It's not there though. Like I know you gotta pay for it, but I don't even see Gemini on here.
On what, I'm sorry?
So I'm on in command, and in settings, you know, when it shows move Facebook.
Yeah,
it
no,
says-
Gmail will be the only one in there. Gmail, yes.
So Gemini won't be in there.
No. The only thing you can turn on in that page that you're at in settings is Gmail. And that is only for every time you interact with that contact, it logs it in your timeline. When you open that contact, it'll say, Gmail, it'll show you the email back and forth.
Okay, so I have the Gmail there. and it's
Yes.
Connected. But
Yes.
didn't you say we could connect Gemini? We cannot.
Gemini is only going to connect if you turn on that Google Contacts in Command feature for $19, because that basically Gemini accesses it through your Google Contacts. So technically, no. Yes, but you're going to pay. So, any other questions, Ms. Shelby? Because I think more than anything, I want everybody to understand that you can create a scheduled action, and a part of it is accessing stuff in your Google Drive. Does everybody know how to access your Google Drive? You can name a folder. Why is it important to name folders? And so Gemini knows where to look. And so the whole goal here is to literally think of everything that you need help with being organized. Think about it, guys. If organization is about having data in its key place, AI really is a profound tool. Trying to think of any other tip that I give you guys about this.
Rental spreadsheets done for all three different sections of that building.
Did it upload them into your Google Drive by any chance?
Right.
So did you create a folder and say save them to blah 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 folder, or?
I really don't know how they end up in my folder, but they
That's
end up in
awesome.
my folder.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is no, the only thing I would save is like this one, we named it My Catch-All, is if you, and I'm only telling you this is because I know some of you are going to use this, but instruct Gemini what folder to save them into so that you don't go looking for them and have to like spend time looking. Of course, Gemini would be able to find them for you, but you can give it specific instructions of where to send it to you. Um, so that's pretty cool in my opinion. And the cool thing about the Google folder right here, Shelby, is when you have files like this, you can right click and share them. You can move them by hit organize. You can move them to another folder. You can download them. You can open them with different things. You can do so many other things, And in my opinion, this is where it becomes really, really fun. So any closing statements before we leave?
So we all have access to Gemini Pro. We have access through Keller Williams.
Yes, I know it's hard to believe, but yes, because yes,
Okay.
it's technically a part of your Google Suite package, which is what you pay for in your command package. And I know it's confusing because command, it's like, shouldn't you connect with Google Contacts? Yes. They have to limit like a scope of how much power to run it, because it does get expensive when you get 100,000 agents using Google Contacts in command, and command can't handle it. So they created that third party integration, but yes. So it's kind of tricky, but I think what I'm realizing is that KW more than any other company is trying to give us as much access to tools within reason, without it breaking everybody. But yeah, there's some powerful tools that are just a part of your package. But yes, from now on, now one thing that I will tell you we learned in here is you may go to Gemini and it may not say Pro anymore. Make sure that you're logged into your KW account when you go to Gemini. As a matter of fact, real quickly, in Gemini, you can click here and you can switch. So if you are having problems, like it's not saying Pro up here, you click on your picture, make sure you choose your KW email address. I want to tell you because that has happened. People have contacted me saying, I don't have access to Pro. You're not clicking on your right email address. You have to be in your KW email address. All right, any other comments, questions? Yes, Linda.
Gemini, do we still need Chat GPT?
It doesn't, but at the same time, there's a couple pros and cons. And the major two things are that Gemini has more of Google's backing because it's built by Google. So it's kind of like a Google AI Google, like it can, like no other. And the other thing is that ChatGPT is a personal privacy issue because ChatGPT, nobody at KW has access to your ChatGPT. So on there, like here I'm telling Shelby, like put your bills up there, put your bank statements. You can probably, I mean, you don't have to worry about KW, but if you're going to be putting like your social security number, your credit card statements, your credit card numbers and all that, I wouldn't use that on Gemini because Gemini is through your KW email account. And so the data that you use from Gemini is only accessed through KW. Like they save all your data. Open AI, which is ChatGPT, that is a personal account, so it's more of a privacy account, but they do have different capabilities for sure. It's way too much to get into right now, but the biggest things is it's personal, data versus Google data that KW has access to. I don't know if that makes any sense. Guys, thank you guys. I've actually been teaching for a long time. I've been consulting for 16 years. I consult CEOs, design technology for CEOs. So every time I teach, I really want to be effective. So I appreciate you guys just being honest with me and blunt. And Shelby, thanks for being our guinea pig. But I also want everybody to know that in general, I'm open for questions. You can email me or text me. But at the same time, I can't be like everybody's technologist because it's just too much. I don't mind a little text message in here, but one of the things I always look for is to make sure that you're putting in the effort and that you search stuff out as well. But one other thing real quickly, if you guys come up with a really cool way to use it, please share it with me and I can either help you enhance it, but also we'd love to share it with the rest of the AI or the rest of the crew here. One of the things that we'll probably migrate towards, thank you guys for being so patient. Oh my gosh, it's 11:24, is we'll probably migrate towards like during team meeting, I'll probably just give like a quick 2-minute tip on something instead of a full-blown class. And if it's something that's more complicated, I'll probably have like a training video already made. So I'll say, here's what you can do with AI, blah, 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 blah. Everybody be like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? I'm gonna say, go to our Southland links and access the AI video that's right there. So I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, scheduled tasks, Google Drive, and have Gemini access your Google Drive documents. For example, you can literally ask Gemini, create a marketing plan to reach all my clients in the next 30 days, a daily Facebook post, and put it into an Excel spreadsheet for me that I can search later. And it'll put it into a spreadsheet. It'll literally write the stuff. And then you can schedule a task and say, every day, give me my post to post on Facebook on a daily basis. Give me my Facebook post every morning at 8 a.m. Boom, it'll notify you, you copy it, and you paste it into Facebook. You can automate stuff like that. You don't have to just create it. You can automate it. You can literally have this sucker automate so many things for you. There is a Facebook setting that you can connect Facebook for. Anyhow, there's so many things that you can do to automate. And I need to stop right there
We don't
before
have enough.
all of our heads blow up. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yes.